Alright, hopefully this looks good. Welcome to another episode of Levi in the Closet. Thank you for joining me today. I'm just going to jump right in with my item of the day. I'm going to show you an item of my closet. Today it's like a tank top, Smokey the Bear. It's got like tears on the shoulders. I like that. Like, I think I got it from Target. Very I don't know. I think it's a unique piece, even though it's from Target. Like, there's probably other people that you'll see wear them, but something about that, it's actually a women's. But I think I pull it off pretty nicely. I like wearing it as a tank top, and it fits me pretty nice. That's something on my tongue there. I have a couple items in my closet I think that are like women's, but I think at the same time they can kind of double as like a, it's like something that I can wear and kind of pull off. It's not too feminine that it looks like a women's thing, but if somebody else saw it, they're like, oh, like my girlfriend, or like I know somebody that has that, maybe that would be kind of odd, but at the same time, I think it's dope, and I've gotten compliments on it, and I like the cuts that it has on the shoulders, on both shoulders. I think it's a pretty cool addition to it. I'm a big fan of Smokey the Bear. It's packed right now, but I have a little box that I put a couple of my pieces in, like my smoking pieces, I've got a little Smokey the Bear stuffed animal. I've got a lot of Smokey the Bear stuff, and that's like, something very near and dear to my childhood and like nostalgia wise. So I saw that and I thought I really like the colors. I like the tank top. Why not, And I think it works for me. It fits my style. But anyway, getting into the video today, I've been thinking about this a lot, and this is kind of different than what my normal videos are, which are like, dating related or like wife related. And I guess this does relate to what's going on in my life right now, but like, I don't know. I'm just going to get right into it, right? So today, I wanted to talk about DoorDash, and that's what I do. It's what I'm using to make money on the side while I am not working a full-time job. If you haven't already seen in my previous videos, I'm going to be moving soon, so I quit my job. I was working like a part-time night job, but still like in between part-time and full-time, and that was what I was doing to make money. I quit that job, and I've been living for 2 months, I think, unemployed technically, but I've been doing DoorDash and making some money that way just to kind of support my finances, like groceries, and I DoorDashed enough last week that I paid for all my car repairs. Like, I brought my car in to get it looked at. I got new sway bars put on it. If you haven't, because I haven't uploaded it yet by the time that I'm probably uploading this video, or maybe I have, I'm doing a Pimp My Ride Levi Out of the Closet, so check that out too. But that's what I've been doing with my time in between, but I've also been using DoorDash to make more money, which is actually pretty good. Like, you can make a decent amount, and I think last week was the most I've ever DoorDashed before. It was close to almost 20 hours. It was probably like 17 hours of dashing total, like, that I've actually been, driving back and forth between customers. Almost 20 hours, and I made around $400. And I'm not trying to use this to, like, gloat or in any way. I'm trying to use this as information. Like, if you're planning to use this, or you're curious about how the delivery type, I don't know what we would call that, delivery services or whatever you can sign up for, like Uber Eats. I haven't tried that, or Postmates. I haven't tried that either. I've exclusively just been using DoorDash, not for any reason. It's just, I feel like using too many would be a lot to juggle, and DoorDash is just one. And like, I figured out what times of days are good to work. That's one thing I would like. That's one thing I'm going to talk about today is, what times are good. I'm going to talk about, the benefits, and I'm going to talk about the negatives of it too. And then, so those are just the main things I wanted to talk about. It's slightly venting, but slightly just for information, like if you're curious or anything. And this is in no way, I'm not being paid to do this. I'm not being given any money or any kind of incentive. This is just me, what I've been experiencing. And I think if I would have known this before I would have started DoorDash, it might have helped me a little better. Or if you are doing DoorDash, you might relate to this and you can kind of, uh, relate to that. Um, but yeah, I think it depends on what time of day you go. There's popular times of day like breakfast time, and usually that's a very short period of time, lunchtime, and then dinner time. Those are the three most popular times of the day to go, because that's usually when people are eating anyways. And it depends on the day, but also like it's very popular around lunchtime, so there's probably not as many deals as you'll be getting, or like you'll be getting, you know, it depends really. You have to figure out what days work. Like I figured out Sunday night is a really good time to go. Like for me, I get really good deals. Plus, there's things called promotions, which they'll add, $1 to $2 if you're gonna go around these times, just to give you, I guess, kind of an incentive. And I think that's good because then you get paid a little bit more. It gives you a reason to actually go out. Because some of these people, they really don't tip, and that could be a big part of what you get paid, is getting a tip. And a lot of these ones, like recently, I haven't been getting any tips. Sometimes I do, not to say that I don't, because that is something that I get, and it's really cool. But then there are times you get ones that are just you getting paid what the base pay is. You're not getting paid in tips, which to me I think is a little bit rude. Like if I'm the one driving and I'm picking up your order, waiting for it, and then driving to you, and I have to drive back, like even like $1. Some people tip like 50 cents. Some people don't tip at all. Some people tip like $5. Some people, it's all over the place. Like it is guaranteed money. Like you are getting something out of it, and hopefully it'll equate to the amount of gas that you spend. That's another thing. You have to factor in miles. How many miles are you driving? You can choose to. It'll give you the option if you haven't already started DoorDash or you're just trying to get information on it. You can choose to accept whether or not you do certain ones. And I look at, how far they are, and I also have to consider driving back. So if it says 10 miles out this way, I'm going to have to drive another 10 miles to get back into town. So like if I go outside of town where I'm at here, like if I go up to Battleground, I'm going to have to drive all the way out there and drive all the way back. And that's going to take me more time, which sometimes I don't mind. Sometimes people actually give you more, or they'll tip you higher because you're driving from out of town. And then that's really up for you to decide. But I've done that, and there's a few times that I was using my dad's car to DoorDash, and he had an electric Fiat, or he still has it, a Fiat 500 electric, and it can only get up to about 80 miles on it on a full charge. And some nights it would be at like 40 miles, and I would take it out to go DoorDash. And I'd say, for a good hour or so, that might be like 50 miles. It varies, but it would get really close to running out of a battery, and I'd be pushing that limit. So yeah, that's one thing to consider, like how many miles you're going to be putting on your car. If that's one thing you're considering, that's something else that you're going to have to remember, that you're putting miles on your car. So if you just have one that you don't care about, you can just run the miles up on it. That's fine. But you are going to be putting a considerable amount of miles on your car if you're doing DoorDash every day, and at least just to make like a regular living. Like, don't expect to be making a ton, but if you're going consistently every day, especially if you're hitting those 3 times, if you're going in the morning around 8 o'clock, and then you're going around like 11:30-ish, it's very brief, that lunchtime window. And then dinner time is like 5 to 8, and then sometimes like closer to 11, and there's different times like that, and you get different promotions too. But those are some of the most popular times, and I'd advise doing that, trying to get around those times, trying to go out. Some things that I think are really cool about DoorDash, I've gotten to know like the area a lot more. Like I've gotten to see like places that I normally wouldn't go, or like now it's like, okay, now I kind of remember like how to get to this area, or I've gone to a lot of the same places now, because it seems like some of the same areas order food, like in apartment complexes and things like that. which also I think is kind of a negative too. I really don't like delivering to apartment complexes, which I'll do. I don't care really. Like, to me, it's money, and that's good. But like, you have to find the apartment, you have to find the building. Like, sometimes it's confusing, or you have to use a gate number, or like if you're doing one that's like in the city, you have to go to a building, you have to punch in the number, go in there, you have to probably take an elevator to their room. It's like a hotel situation. All types of things. Like, it's crazy, but that's also something I like new experience, and like delivering to hotels, delivering to like hospitals, delivering to regular houses and different apartments, or like, just different things. Like, it's just been really exciting to kind of learn that, like, something that you might not normally experience. So I think that's kind of like, that's a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes I'm worried and I just try to trust the map. And sometimes, okay, and that's a positive and a negative too. Like, if you just trust the map and you follow it, it'll bring you to your destination, and you'll be able to figure out your way back. Like, you can go back to wherever the hot spots are that are, popular restaurants at that time, or you can navigate back from there. But there have been times that I haven't been able to find the right address, and I have to go to a app outside of the DoorDash app, punch in the address, and it'll actually take me to a different place. Like, it'll be close, or it'll be like, this street dead ends and the house is on the other side of the dead end, and the map brought me here and I had to figure out my own way. And so that's one thing. It's like, I don't get compensated for this extra effort I have to put in, but it's just, part of the job. Like, there's going to be different ups and downs to every job. And that's kind of just how I see it. Like, you gotta work a certain amount of hours every week on a normal job, so you're gonna have to, put in some time, or, you're gonna have to spend money on gas. You're gonna have to invest a little bit, but then you can, make a pretty big return on how much you spend in gas. You can, double that, especially if you have a good gas efficient car or electric car. Right now, I'm using a 2003 Forester. It doesn't get the greatest gas mileage, but it's doing the job. Okay, one other thing, and then I'm gonna try to wrap this video up, just so that it's not too long. One thing is waiting in line. Like, if you can't go in, especially now because it's around the COVID time, like the end of that, and some places are opening up their lobbies or their seating areas, but a lot of them are still closed, and so you have to go through the drive-through. And sometimes, like, around 12 o'clock at night, like, especially Taco Bell, their drive-through lines are so long, and you have to wait in line. And I did have, at one point, I had 2 orders I was going to be picking up, and I was going to make around $20. So I was like, this is going to be my last one for the night. I'm excited, $20. All I got to do is just go wait, and then I'll go pick it up, take it to them. It's on my way home. Everything was perfect. And then I was waiting in line. The line went through the drive-through, around the parking lot, out to the street. And I was in the street. And it's probably, a half hour of waiting in line at Taco Bell in the drive-through line. And by the time I got up to the ordering window, and I told them, I'm picking up for DoorDash, here's the orders. And they said, we had those, but they went away because it was too long and they expire after a certain amount of time. I was waiting in line. Like, if I could have gone inside, and I get, at that late at night, most places aren't open to walk into anyway, but waiting in line for any place, there's some places that the drive-through line is so long, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like, is this worth it? Like, is it worth $5 for me waiting here? And, gas is burning, and just my time, like how I value my time. That's really up to you. Like I'm just chilling in the car, jamming, like I'm chilling, I'm cool. And just waiting to pick up somebody else's food. I've already eaten, so I'm not hungry. I have my water. I have everything I need. But then, sometimes I'm just waiting in these drive-through lines, like, man, is this really worth it? Is it really worth, a couple bucks? Like, especially if you don't get tipped for that. That's the one thing that kind of makes me mad. Like, not getting tipped when you're having to navigate around all these different things. Like, they don't see that side. They just see, you have to pick up the food. You have to bring it to me. Like, if it was that simple, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But waiting and, having to communicate, Sometimes they send you different things, like people will request certain things like, oh, can you ask them for this sauce and can you add this to the order, or can you also see if they can do this, or if that's another thing. Okay, one more thing, I'm gonna wrap it up. You gotta sometimes communicate with the customer. Like, they have an option where you can call them or text them, and there's been a few times I've used this in different situations. One, you get a card from DoorDash, and that's if you actually will go to the grocery store. You go through and you pick each item out, and then you have to check out and use it as a credit card, and you have to get every item on their grocery list. And if one isn't available, you have to message them and say, hey, this one isn't available, but they have this option here. Like, what would you prefer? And sometimes they might not reply right away. Sometimes there might not be any option, and then you have to request a refund for them. All kinds of things. Like, that's one thing, and you can make pretty good money doing that. Like, I think the least amount of money you can make is $14 doing that. But then I already don't like shopping, so to me, I'd rather just go drive and pick it up and then do like a couple orders, and then I'll make about that much. But I've done that a couple times. I've tried that. But you have to be in communication with the customer. Like, I've had to do that. Oh, what applesauce would you like? They don't have the right applesauce flavor that they wanted, and they wanted organic blueberries, and all they have are just like regular blueberries, not organic. What do? You got to communicate with them. We're like, I've been sent to the wrong place, and the address was the one that they sent me, but in Google Maps or something, for some reason, their address is always wrong, and it sends people to the wrong address. And so they were texting me this while I'm driving, and so I'm trying to read while I'm driving, and they're texting me where their location is, and I went to the one that DoorDash sent me to, which was the wrong one, of course. And then I have to navigate, I have to use my own app outside of the DoorDash app to navigate to them. And that was at the same time that I was running out of battery in my dad's car. So I had, about 15 miles I could drive, and I was out in Battleground, and I lived downtown Vancouver. So I had to go on the freeway, navigate back. Oh man, that was probably the most nerve-wracking situation I've ever been in. Like, the most tense and stressful. Like, 1:30 in the morning, nobody's awake, in my dad's car, trying to get home with close to no battery. Like, it tells you how many more miles you can go in the car, and it got down to like 1 mile, and if you put your foot on the brake, it'll charge the car. So I'm riding the brakes the whole way home, trying to charge the car, just praying that I can just make it, like coasting as much as I can. And talk about stress. Get yourself an electric car that can only go a certain amount of miles. Like, you cannot go over probably 90 miles. Like, you can't go over 90 miles on a full charge. So if you didn't charge your car completely the night before, you forgot to plug it in, you're screwed. Kind of sucks. But that's also happened in a car, like running out of gas, the gas light comes on, but they do ask you to confirm that you have enough gas before each time. But sometimes you lie. You're just like, I'm trying to go, I'm trying to get my money. Maybe I don't have gas, or maybe my phone isn't charged. But anyway, all right, so those are that's my summary of DoorDash. Decide what you want. If you see it as a good opportunity to make money, if you are unemployed right now and you want money, you have a car, I recommend go do it. If you want a little money on the side, you have a normal job and you have free time, like if you have days off of work and you have just free time, you want to make some money, do it. And you're not obligated to do any certain amount of hours. It's completely up to you when you go. It's really just about how much you want to make and how much you want to work. And again, I'm not sponsored at all in this by DoorDash. I'm just saying I recommend it if you're looking for a little bit of income on the side. So, get to the place you want to be in life. If you need to work on the side, find a side hustle, like a side grind, like DoorDash or, one of these other delivery things. Go do that and work on yourself and love yourself before anybody else. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.